Good afternoon, Holy Trinity. Welcome again to another video update. I've got a lot of exciting information to tell you today, so I'm just going to dive right in. First is an update on our Easter season giving campaign. As a reminder, what we're doing is we are collecting funds to the season of Easter to close the gap on a budget item that was unfulfilled because of coronavirus. If you remember, we have a budgeted amount of money that we expect to come in on Easter Sunday morning as part of the offering. But since coronavirus prevented us from gathering in person on Easter, we were unable to collect an Easter collection during that time. And so there was a small hole in the budget that we're looking to complete and to fill. And so we're now doing an Easter season giving campaign. And I'm excited to announce that we have passed the halfway point of our asking. We have to date $2,700 have been given to the Easter collection. And that constitutes approximately 60% of our goal. Now, some people have been asking, well, what is our goal? Our goal is $4,500. Believe it or not, that is the budgeted amount and the monies that typically comes in on an Easter Sunday morning offering, which is a large sum of money that would come in on one particular day of the year, which is why we decided to do an Easter season ask so that we can try and close this missing gap in our budget. And I'm just excited and ecstatic to say that we have already crossed the halfway point in just 2 weeks. So $2,700 is 60%. We are 60% towards our goal, and we are on our way. So for those that maybe haven't given yet, I just ask that you continue to think and to pray upon this to see if you would like to contribute. If you would like to contribute, you can simply go to our website and hit the Donate Now button. And in the the note section of that portal, simply put Easter or Easter season or Easter collection, something that designates it for Easter, so we know those funds go to Easter. Also, if you can just write a check and put it in the mail it to the church. We are continuing to receive mail and process funds. And just simply put Easter or Easter collection or Easter season in the memo of the check, and that way we can designate the funds appropriately. But that is just exciting news that we are over halfway done with our Easter season ask. And we just hope and pray that we will continue to get the funds to come in and close this loophole in our budget. Another piece of exciting information that we have is we were approved for the PPP loan. Now, many of you have probably heard about this on the news, but may not fully understand what is the PPP loan. So the PPP loan is a loan that comes to us from the Small Business Administration, and it is part of the larger federal stimulus package that was passed by our federal government. And what this is this is a loan that goes out to small businesses or nonprofits, and places of worship also qualify, to assist for payroll and utilities. And so there was a first round of funds, and unfortunately we didn't have our application ready in time. But that amount of funds dried up very quickly. And so what they did was they opened up a second round of funds for the PPP loan. By that time, our application was complete and it was ready to transmit. So when those funds went back out and they were available for application, we got our application in. And then we found out that we were approved. So we have been allotted approximately 2.5 months of payroll for the church, and we will be using it for that purpose. And this is perfect during this time because, as many of you know, our thrift store has been closed for now 2 whole months, and our thrift store constitutes 1/3 of the income into the church. And so things like our Easter season ask and things like this PPP loan are helping us stay afloat during this time when we've got one of our major income sources that is simply not even open. But here is the really exciting thing about the PPP loan. It is a loan, as it states right now, but if you use it for payroll and up to 25% of utilities, then after you have used all those funds, you can turn right around and apply for a loan forgiveness for that amount. And this is part of the program. And as long as you use the funds as they've been designated, the federal government will in turn forgive the loan, and then it becomes basically a cash grant. And so we will not have to repay those funds, and we will be able to use them to continue to stay afloat financially during this time. So we are excited to be able to announce that to the church. And I would ask that you thank Grace Smith, our parish administrator. Grace has been one of the key players in us getting approved for this loan. She did all the research on the loan. She was the one who did the application for the loan. She worked with our bank. She worked with the diocese, who had been providing guidance, and essentially got everything in place so that we could receive this approval. So if you call the church or even send maybe a note or a thank you to the church ever, thank Grace for the hard work that she put in so that Holy Trinity would get approved for these funds. And I personally thank Grace for her work and her efforts to see this through, because this is a major positive blessing for the church. Another piece of good news that I've got for us is we now have a new senior warden. So to give a little history here, Joanne Wallen has been our senior warden. She was a senior warden through the interim period and through the rector search process. And her senior warden time technically ended in January. But that was right during the transitional time when I had been hired, but I hadn't actually started at the church. And based on some conversations with Bishop Smith and myself, we thought it would be best that if Joanne were to accept staying on as the senior warden on a temporary basis until I had a chance to get to Holy Trinity, to get to know the people here, and to get to know the vestry, so I could properly appoint her successor. As many of you know, and some may not know, it is the rector who appoints the senior warden. And since I was new, it would have been very difficult for me to appropriately pick a senior warden, say on my very first day or my first week, because I didn't know anybody. So we decided early on that if Joanne was willing, and she was, she would stay on as the acting senior warden until Easter. And at the vestry meeting following Easter, I would announce the new senior warden. And so that vestry meeting has come and gone, and I made the announcement, and now I get to tell the church that the new senior warden is Mrs. Joni Pfeiffer. And so we are excited that she has accepted the call to be senior warden. So if you see Joni, please congratulate her on her new appointment as senior warden. But I also would encourage the church to thank Joanne. Joanne was the senior warden through the interim period and through the rector search, and those are not easy times to be a senior warden. The senior warden takes on many, many, many extra responsibilities that are not normally part of the senior warden's job. It is a stressful time. It is a very busy time, and Joanne did it wonderfully for Holy Trinity. And so if you see Joanne, thank her for her time. I thank her for her time and the wonderful work that she did here, because she truly did an amazing job as the senior warden here at Holy Trinity. But then we move forward, and so then we congratulate Joni as our new senior warden, and as we turn to a new chapter into the history of Holy Trinity. And so we are excited to see where this journey now takes us, as Joni being our new senior warden. And our final announcement is about coffee hour, the virtual coffee hour. We had our very first virtual coffee hour this past Sunday. We had approximately 27 people participate. We had a wonderful time. We had some good conversation. I was able to do a tutorial on how the Zoom platform works, and Zoom is a video conferencing platform that many people, businesses, schools, the diocese, our own church, we use for our virtual meetings. So we used it for coffee hour. And it was very well received. People had a lot of fun and enjoyed it. They were able to ask questions of me and get updates on what's going on in the church. And so because of that, we're going to keep it going. And so we're going to have another virtual coffee hour this coming Sunday. It'll take place at 11:30 a.m. The login information for the coffee hour will be provided through our email distribution system. Now, some people have asked, why are we not putting the information on our website and on Facebook? And the reason is for security reasons. If you think back to maybe about a month ago, there was a trend as Zoom became very popular that there was a thing called Zoom bombing going on. It's kind of like photo bombing, but it was called Zoom bombing. And what that is when people were putting out their meeting links and logins, they were making them too public, and outside individuals were gaining access to these meetings, and they were logging into the meetings, and they were doing sometimes funny and silly things to disrupt the meetings, but also there was some very unkind and ugly things happening as people were Zoom bombing these meetings. And so for security reasons, we're not making our Zoom access information public. So you have to be part of our email distribution system if you want to access our virtual coffee hour. And there is a link to click, and then there's also a password that you have to enter in order to do this, since it's a larger group event. So if you want to be a part of it, make sure you're on our email distribution list, and then there's instructions on how to log in. But if it interests you, please join us. We did have a lot of fun last Sunday, and we'd like to keep it going because it's just another way that we can use technology to stay connected with one another, even when we have to keep our safe distance from each other. So that is all the announcements that I have for today. I hope everyone is continuing to stay safe and stay healthy. Just know that during this time, my prayers continue to be with you, and may God's blessings be upon us all, each and every one. Bye-bye now, and we'll hope to see you soon.